Somewhere between two continents, the map breaks. A highway that connects almost the entire Western Hemisphere, from the frozen north of Alaska to the blazing deserts of Chile, suddenly disappears into green. No detour. No alternate route. Just nothing. This is the Darien Gap. A place where human ambition comes to die. On paper, it's just about 100 kilometers of land between Panama and Colombia. But to those who have seen it, it's another world, a jungle so dense that satellites can barely pierce it, a swamp so deep that machines vanish into it whole, a silence so heavy that men have gone mad trying to cross it. And yet, this isn't just a geographical anomaly. It's a wound in humanity's greatest engineering dream. Back in 1923, in Washington, D.C., a group of visionaries gathered to discuss an impossible idea, a single road that would connect the entire New World, from the top of North America to the bottom of South America. They called it the Pan American Highway. It was supposed to be the ultimate symbol of progress. Imagine driving from Alaska's icy wilderness to Argentina's southern tip, 19,000 miles of unbroken road, crossing jungles, deserts, volcanoes, and mountains. A highway that would bind nations, cultures, and economies into one continuous line. For decades, construction crews worked relentlessly. They built bridges through hurricanes, carved paths through mountains, and laid down asphalt where none had ever existed. By the 1970s, they were almost done. Only one piece remained, the final link that would close the gap between North and South America. That link was supposed to run through the Darien region. But that last 100 kilometers became an abyss that swallowed everything: men, money, and ambition. Because what they found there wasn't land waiting to be tamed. It was a living organism that refused to be conquered. The Darien Gap is not like other jungles. It's a landscape born out of chaos. Two tectonic plates, the South American and Caribbean, collided millions of years ago, thrusting mountains upward and trapping rivers in eternal confusion. The result is a terrain that doesn't follow rules. It floods without warning. It collapses without reason. And beneath the soil lies more water than earth. Those who have tried to cross it tell stories that sound like hallucinations. They speak of endless mud that grips you like a living thing. They speak of nights when the jungle hums so loud that you can't tell if it's insects, rain, or your own heartbeat. They speak of places where compasses spin and GPS devices fail, as if the earth itself is trying to erase your presence. When satellite images of the Pan American Highway are viewed from space, you can see a clean silver line running north to south, through Canada, the US, Mexico, Guatemala, Costa Rica. Then, at Panama, it stops. The highway fades into a blur of forest, and the digital map simply ends. The screen flashes, no route found. To the modern traveler, it's a small technical glitch. But to historians, engineers, and dreamers, that broken line is a scar. It represents a century of failure. A project that cost billions, spanned generations, and yet fell short by just one stubborn fragment of earth. And the irony? This missing link lies at the very heart of the Americas, the symbolic bridge between North and South. It's as if the planet itself decided that the two worlds should never fully touch. Why? For that answer, you have to go back much further. Long before bulldozers and governments, long before maps had borders, this jungle had already earned a reputation as a place that devoured men and empires alike. In the 17th century, the Scots tried to settle it. They dreamed of a new colony called Caledonia, a tropical trading paradise that would make Scotland a world power. They arrived with ships, supplies, and 25,000 settlers. Within months, disease and starvation killed most of them. The few who survived fled back across the Atlantic, their dream lost to the swamp. The disaster bankrupted Scotland, and not long after, the country was forced to join the United Kingdom. One failed colony changed the fate of an entire nation, all because of the Darien. Then came the Spanish. They called this place El Infierno Verde, the Green Hell. They couldn't map it. Their soldiers vanished in its rivers. Even their horses refused to enter. For centuries, it remained untouched, a void on the map, a blank spot labeled simply as unexplored. When modern explorers returned in the early 20th century, they believed they could finally conquer it with machines. They thought progress had advanced enough to overcome nature's stubbornness. But the Darien wasn't just a barrier of trees and rivers. It was a barrier of time, a relic of a world before humans thought they owned the earth. By the mid-1900s, when American engineers arrived to survey the route for the Pan American Highway, they came with optimism and arrogance. They believed the jungle could be tamed, the rivers bridged, the mountains carved. They believed technology could erase geography. They were wrong. They hadn't accounted for the rain, the endless, unforgiving rain that fell for 9 months of the year. They hadn't accounted for the mud that swallowed trucks, or the swarms of mosquitoes that brought malaria and yellow fever. They hadn't accounted for the rivers that changed course overnight, or the mountains that slid away beneath their feet. Even before the first bulldozer touched the soil, the land was already reclaiming it. And as the world watched the dream of the Pan American Highway collapse at the Darien, something deeper began to emerge. The realization that maybe, just maybe, the gap wasn't meant to be filled. That the earth, in its ancient wisdom, had drawn this line for a reason. The Darien Gap is not just a missing road. It's a boundary between civilization and wilderness, between what we can control and what we can't. It's the line where maps end and myths begin. And even now, a century later, that line remains broken, not because we couldn't cross it, but because we weren't meant to. The Darien Gap has always been more than a jungle. It's a sentient labyrinth, a breathing trap laid across the waste of the world. Empires have entered it and never returned. The first major expedition to disappear here wasn't led by explorers, but by dreamers. In 1698, the Kingdom of Scotland, desperate to become a global power, launched what they called the Darien Scheme. They imagined a port on the Caribbean that would connect both oceans, an early Panama Canal, centuries before the idea became real. The colony would be their gateway to riches. 5 ships set sail with 1,200 settlers, carrying dreams, gold, and a flag they believed would rewrite their destiny. But the jungle had other plans. The land they chose was a swamp. Mosquitoes spread malaria. Food rotted before it could be eaten. Supplies from home never came. Within 8 months, the colony was gone. 7 out of 10 settlers had died. The survivors staggered back to their ships and sailed away in silence. The project bankrupted the Scottish economy. Within a few years, the nation was forced into political union with England. The modern United Kingdom was born, out of a failure in the Darien Gap. More than a century later, explorers tried again. The 1850s brought the age of the Canal Dream. Europe and America wanted a way to connect the Atlantic and Pacific, and all eyes turned to Panama. One U.S. expedition, led by Lieutenant Isaac Strain, was sent to chart a canal route through the Darien. It was supposed to be a simple survey. It became a nightmare. Strain's team entered the jungle with optimism and provisions for 60 days. But navigation errors and constant storms trapped them deep inside. Maps were useless. The rivers twisted on themselves. Their food vanished, their compasses spun wildly. They wandered in circles, starving, diseased, hallucinating. After 49 days, half were dead. The survivors were found barely alive, their bodies skeletal. Strain's report to Washington was short and brutal: the Darien is impossible to conquer. Even the Spanish Empire, which built roads across deserts and jungles, avoided this place. Their explorers called it cursed. Native tribes like the Embera whispered that the forest itself punishes arrogance, that it remembers those who try to cut it. The Darien became a border in more ways than one. It separated not only continents but worlds, the world of reason and the world of myth. When early anthropologists arrived, they heard stories of glowing rivers and spirits that guarded the trees. Hunters spoke of lights that floated in the fog and creatures that vanished when touched. They dismissed it as folklore until they, too, disappeared. By the time the 20th century began, the jungle's reputation was sealed. The Darien Gap was a living warning. No army, no explorer, no nation had ever crossed it successfully by land. It was a hole in history. And yet, humanity never stops trying. The more the world warned against it, the more determined people became to defy it. That stubbornness would define the next century of the Darien's story, when ambition met mud, and machines met their match. The dream of the Pan American Highway should have ended with the Scottish disaster, or with Strain's failed expedition. But in the 1950s, America was at its most confident moment. The Second World War had been won. The economy was booming. The age of concrete and steel had begun. Engineers believed there was no obstacle too great. And so they returned to the Darien. The plan was simple: carve a 160-kilometer road through the jungle, linking Panama to Colombia. It was to be the final stretch of the Pan American Highway, the last missing link in a road that would connect two continents. But when engineers arrived, they realized they weren't just fighting the jungle. They were fighting physics. The rain came first. It didn't fall in drops, it poured in sheets, 9 months of relentless downpour. Rivers overflowed their banks. Roads turned to mud before they could be paved. Heavy machinery sunk into the ground like stones into water. Bulldozers rusted in place. The soil was so unstable that any structure built on it would slide away within days. Then came disease. Malaria spread through the camps. Yellow fever, dengue, snake bites, every living thing in the forest seemed to resist intrusion. Hundreds of workers fell ill. Some disappeared into the trees, delirious and lost. The engineers called it the Green Ocean. You could stand in one spot and see nothing but walls of trees, every direction identical. Compass readings failed, radios went silent, and vehicles broke down in the heat. They tried dynamite to blast paths through the forest. It only created craters that filled with rainwater and bred mosquitoes. Every meter forward came at a cost of lives and sanity. Eventually, they reached the Atrato swamp, an endless bog where even concrete pillars vanished into the muck. When they dropped 300-foot steel drums into it to test stability, they disappeared completely. It was as if the earth swallowed them whole. No foundation could hold. The swamp refused to bear weight. Roads collapsed before the asphalt dried. The American dream of connection, one continent united by a single road, died here, quietly, beneath the rain. And yet, it wasn't just nature that stopped them. As the years went on, the political reasons began to pile up. Diseases, economics, and unseen hands would conspire to keep the jungle untouched. By the 1970s, the Pan American Highway had almost reached completion everywhere else. Only the Darien Gap remained. But the closer governments came to bridging it, the more resistance emerged, not from the forest this time, but from offices and boardrooms. The first official reason was simple: disease control. In 1971, scientists warned that connecting Colombia to Panama by land could allow the spread of foot and mouth disease, a viral plague devastating cattle in South America. If it crossed north, it could destroy the U.S. beef industry. The argument was strong enough that Washington ordered a halt to construction. For decades, disease risk remained the public explanation. But beneath that, other motives simmered. In the late 1970s and 80s, as the world plunged into the drug wars, Colombia became the epicenter of cocaine production. The cartels of Medellin and Cali flooded the north with product. The Darien Gap, with its untraceable swamps and rivers, became a natural barrier. Smugglers had to rely on air and sea routes the US could monitor. A paved highway would change everything. It would create an open corridor straight into Central America, impossible to control. For some, the Darien was not a problem. It was protection. Declassified documents later hinted at a program called Operation Watchtower, allegedly involving covert radar stations along Panama's border. Their purpose? To monitor drug flights, or, as some whispered, to secretly assist them when politically convenient. In the chaos of the Cold War, the Darien became a frontier for shadows, a place where governments and cartels blurred into the same fog. Then came the canal factor. Since 1914, the Panama Canal had been one of the world's most valuable trade routes. Every ship that crossed paid a toll. Billions flowed through it each year. If a highway connected the continents, goods could travel by truck instead, bypassing the canal entirely. For Panama and its partners, that was unthinkable. So perhaps it wasn't disease that killed the highway. Perhaps it was money. In public, the Darien was an engineering failure. In secret, it was an economic firewall. Meanwhile, environmentalists began to speak up. They argued that paving a road through the Darien would destroy one of the last untouched rainforests in the Americas, home to thousands of unique species and indigenous tribes like the Embera and Waunan. Building the highway, they said, would mean cultural extinction. And so, by the end of the 1980s, the project was quietly abandoned. No formal cancellation, no ceremony, just silence. The jungle closed around the unfinished roads, reclaiming them with vines and roots. What little humanity had built vanished beneath green. Today, the Darien Gap still stands, the only place where the Pan American Highway breaks. But even without roads, people still cross it. Not explorers. Not soldiers. Refugees. Every year, hundreds of thousands of migrants from Venezuela, Haiti, and across Africa enter the jungle, hoping to reach the United States. They call it La Ruta de los Sueños, the route of dreams. But it's more like a graveyard. Families carry infants through knee-deep mud. Men wade across rivers with their belongings held above their heads. Many never make it out. Bodies are found along the paths, washed downriver, or never found at all. In 2023 alone, more than 500,000 people attempted the crossing. Thousands vanished. For them, the Darien Gap isn't a mystery or a symbol. It's a test of desperation. A place where survival becomes a currency. Journalists who have followed these migrant trails describe camps built from plastic sheets, discarded shoes hanging from trees, and endless rain that blurs the line between day and night. In this chaos, smugglers thrive. They promise safe passage for a fee, but the jungle always takes its share. Despite global attention, no government has managed to control it. Humanitarian agencies send aid, but corruption